Hi. Please could you introduce yourself, tell us what your role is, and how long you've worked at OHEAP?
Yeah, my name's Andy Seale. I'm the Extinguisher Division Manager. I've been here 28 years, started as a service engineer and worked my way up, but I also look after disciplines of dry risers, hydrants, sprinklers, suppression systems. I look after multiple contractors and staff that look after all those disciplines.
What is a business's responsibility regarding fire hydrants?
So if a fire hydrant is on a customer's property, it is their responsibility to ensure that it works and is serviced at least annually. There's a misconception that the fire brigade come and service all hydrants. They only actually service ones on public roads, and you'll often see a fire brigade with an engine actually testing all the hydrants. Their test is almost the same as an end user would use on his own property. So it's very much the end user's responsibility to ensure that their own are serviced correctly in line with the regulation.
How often should fire hydrants be tested and inspected, and what risks arise when they're not maintained properly?
Fire hydrants should be inspected as a minimum annually, so once a year. British Standard 9990/2015 is the inspection British Standard for hydrant testing. A hydrant, if it's not tested correctly, could cause major problems should it be used in an emergency and it not be able to work. It's crucial for a fire brigade to be able to pull water out of the ground into their engine to put onto a fire. So if they're not tested to prove they work annually, there could be a problem if it was ever needed.
So, what constitutes a hydrant test?
An engineer will attend site to test a hydrant. One of the first things they will do is check that they can find the hydrant. It's not buried beneath any bushes or grass that's overgrown it. There are any cars parked anywhere nearby, because they can be in car parks, they can be in grassed areas. They should be identified by being painted yellow. So the inspection cover is yellow, and there should be a H sign, which has little numbers on which denotes how far that sign is away from the actual hydrant cover. That's an indication for the fire brigade, if they turn up to use that, where the hydrant actually is. A hydrant will be tested by checking that the ground is clear, the hydrant cover lifts off and it's not broken, so that anybody could fall down it. It's lifted off and the internal valve underground will be checked visually to make sure everything's okay. Make sure there's not a rubble in there, make sure it's not full of water. If it's full of water, then there's something wrong. They will then operate the actual on and off switch in the valve manually. That will produce water coming out of the fire hydrant standpipe. We'll allow that to run clear for 30 seconds or so. And then what we'll do is add a device called a flow meter to the top of that standpipe. That will check how much water goes through that flow meter in so many seconds, so many minutes. So that gives you a calculation to check the flow meter and the flow rate of the hydrant. They will also then take that off, put on a pressure reading set of valves, which will then give you a gauge reading of the pressure of the water. So they're all recorded. British standards require a minimum requirement to be able to draw water out of the ground to work correctly through lay flat hoses or fire engines.
So, last question. What is the importance of a fire hydrant?
Okay, all the fire brigade's fire engines are called pumps, and that is exactly what they are. They're a massive engine with a massive pump on them. They actually carry water, but only a set amount of water. So if they get called to a fire, they can only use the water they've got in that fire engine. They have to be able to replenish that or pump water from elsewhere. You'll see often that if they're near a river, they will throw a hose into a river if there's no water nearby to be able to carry on putting water onto a fire. Fire hydrants are used to draw water from an underground source. So a separate pipework system is running into a fire hydrant. The fire engine, being the pump, is attached to the hydrant. It will draw water out of the ground, pumping it into the fire engine. The engine will then pump the water into the hoses at the scene of the fire that are used by the fire brigade. So basically, it comes from the ground, pumped into the engine, out of the engine, and then into the hoses. So they are a critical part in an emergency situation. This is why they should be tested to ensure they're going to work.
At OHEAP Fire and Security, our fire safety specialists provide round-the-clock support to keep your sites compliant and protected. To learn more about fire hydrant services or to speak with an expert, contact OHEAP today.